Good evening, fellow beer drinkers. We're back for another episode of Conservative Beer Reviews. So today, we are going to delve into Unibroue's Trois Pistoles. I'm sorry. So Unibroue comes out of Canada, and they make some really fantastic Belgian ales. And they have an entire catalog of different Belgian ales that they do, and I've always been super impressed with everything they've done. So, without further ado, this is a revisit for me. I haven't had Trois Pistoles in probably 2 years, so it's going to be a fun revisit for me. So I'm going to go ahead, and it comes in this little foil cap here. I'm just going to pop it right off. Lovely bottle conditioned beer. Give her a little pour. So this is listed as a Belgian dark ale, which is kind of a loose descriptor. A lot of people could say a Belgian dark ale goes the way of a triple or not a triple, a double or a quadruple. It just depends on, what they're going for. I've even seen some Belgian dark ales that were actually more like a Belgian stout. So yeah, it's kind of a looser, one of the more lenient style terminologies. This one is at 9%. It looks like best by January 17th of 2022, so we're well within that date. Bottle fermented ale brewed with spices. So as you can see, it is indeed a dark ale. We've got kind of a iced tea color meets root beer for the body. And we have about, if I'm measuring with my pinky like I have been so far, probably about 2 pinkies worth of off-white, almost khaki colored head. So I'm going to let you see that up close a little bit. I'll also let you see the label a little bit. So very kind of mysterious. It's like a castle or something, a Belgian monastery castle it looks like. So let's get into this. Yeah. See, the thing I love about Belgian ales is they all have, this is a screw off top. Bizarre. That's the first I've ever noticed. So Unibroue does screw off tops. I don't know if you can see that. The ridges. So they actually screw off rather than pop off. Why would they do a screw off underneath a foil label? That's weird. Anyways, back to the beer. What I really like about Belgian ales is they tend to have like a fermented fruit aroma, and it just breathes this wonderful ethanol, but it's like a fruity, delicious, mouth-watering ethanol, and I love that about Belgian beers. They are truly their own style. So I'm getting a lot of that estery, fruity alcohol, and I also get touches of apple, pear, and plum. Slight cinnamon, so that's where the spices would probably come in. Right now, I think the head is kind of blocking what should be coming up to my nose right now. The head's kind of blocking that, so I'll stop agitating it. I'll come back to the nose, but I'm going to go ahead and take a sip. Oddly enough, this one tastes a little faded with the spices than I remember. The spices are not quite as loud. I get a little bit more warming alcohol. Whew, I feel it all over in my esophagus, my chest, and my gut. It just burns all the way down. So I feel a lot more warming alcohol and taste it as well. I get some pear and apple skin, but the spices are there, but they're faded. And it's kind of hard to explain that unless you've actually tasted a spiced beer that has been faded. I don't believe there's a bottle date. There's a bottling code, but I don't know how to decipher it. So this could very well be a couple years old, and that's really all it takes for spices to fade in a beer. Sometimes it's less than that. It's like hops almost. So the spices are there, they're present, but they're muted. So I get kind of a cinnamon, nutmeg almost, and a little bit of plum with the darkness, and some Belgian candy sugar, the dark kind, off in the background somewhere. It's definitely not sweet, like overly sweet. Um, and lots of that fruity ethanol character. So, feel very warming, heavily carbonated, very warming, a little bit slick, creamy, semi-creamy, I would say. And it just kind of just burns all the way down and warms you up. Gosh, the first time I had this beer, I was blown away. Like, it was phenomenal. Like, it was one of the best beers I'd ever had. And that was just 2 years ago. And perhaps I've gotten an aged 4-pack. I'd like to go back and visit it if I knew how to decipher the bottle dating. Maybe get one that's best by 6 years in advance if they do that, just to make sure. So for look, I mean, it's nice. I'd say 4. And aroma, I'd say 3.75. It was muted, kind of faint. Flavor, I have to give 3.75. And the feel, 3.75. Man, unfortunately, this rating is super tanked compared to what I think I gave it before, which is probably more in the like 4.25 area. I'm gonna have to give this one about a 3.9. This bottle right here is about a 3.9, unfortunately. So yeah, that kind of sucks, but I'll just keep on trucking, you know. I'm not gonna throw this out. It's definitely still drinkable, just a little bit less impressive than I remember from last time. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Keep your guns, eat meat, and drink good beer. Cheers.